Obesity is the #1 health-related issue in South Carolina, as 66% of South Carolina adults are overweight or obese. This also compares with 25% of children are also obese, as in these rates are continuing to rise. Um, 50, so South Carolina has spent over $1 billion on obesity-related issues, which some of this is covered by Medicare and Medicaid, but $256 of this comes from each South Carolinian. I don't know about you, but I think we need to change the system in which we operate and offer tax credits to individuals for leading healthy lifestyles. By motivating individuals with tax credits, we will not only decrease the economic burden, but we would also help our citizens live longer lives. So let me tell you a little bit more about tax credits. Tax credits are used by both the federal and state governments to help encourage individuals partaking in a certain behavior. This behavior is usually in the form of trying to, promote environment awareness. So there are tax credits out there for individuals that buy hybrid cars or cars that have low emission standards. Which is just one example of how the government tries to enforce incentives so that you will help the cause of saving the environment. This tax credit, which would be for promoting healthy lifestyles in individuals, would work on an hour basis. So if you would have 500 hours of exercising each year, then you would get in a certain tax credit, and as you would do more, you would get more. This would not only encourage people and families to get up and get off the couch and exercise, because it's obviously money that they're saving them in the long run. So therefore, it would work in a twofold way. It is also important to note that statistics show minorities have higher rates of obesity. So therefore, this tax credit would help them in everyday life because they're more than likely living in lower socioeconomic areas and therefore not getting as much income, which correlates to not eating healthy because it's easier to get a dollar menu cheeseburger than to go home and cook a nice meal. By motivating these people with the tax credits, it works on so many different levels, as you will be able to see healthier families. You'll get to see the type 2 diabetes, the hypertension associated with obesity go down as well, and in turn create a healthier society, which would create lower cost on the taxpayers and the rest of the healthcare world. In addition to these tax credits, it'd be very beneficial to use the programs that South Carolina already has in place that already raise awareness for obesity, and not only adults but also in children as well. Organizations such as Eat Smart, Move More, or operate on a grassroots level, and they are already there talking about obesity and trying to get information and education out to the individuals in our state. But having these tax credits given to these individuals would motivate them, and it would also allow organizations in the grassroots level like this to flourish and be able to spread their word, and because people would actually want to understand about how to eat healthy rather than just kind of going off a limb. And just essentially, these tax credits equal money, and money is a very convincing bargaining tool when you're dealing with any kind of human being, especially the people that are in the lower socioeconomic states and that are of minority status. If a state has a problem as large as South Carolina does with obesity, I think it's something that should be done about it, and these tax credits would go a long way in promoting healthier lifestyles, which would help our children live longer and healthier, as well as the current individuals that would be able to change their lifestyles now. It is essential as a government that we take measures now to ensure that our children and their children's generations are not set up for failure as being unhealthy and being at risk for diabetes and heart disease and other such other secondary symptoms that come along with being obese. Giving our communities and citizens the tools, the education, and the right motivation would go a long way into preserving the health of our individuals, and also create less of an economic burden on our individuals and taxpayers that are having to foot the bill for these individuals that are unhealthy and cannot pay for it. These tax credits are a step in the right direction and would only help us further our goal in the fight in obesity in adults and childhood.